Let me address one of the points which was raised by Anna Maria and the importance of our members. At the beginning of 2019, aware of the importance of knowing the opinions of the members of the foundation and having a medium-term strategic plan, the foundation board of directors submitted a questionnaire to all its members. In order to fully involve the adherents in the life of the foundation, such a questionnaire was meant to elicit a recommendation and suggestions. Members represent, in fact, the backbone of the Centesimus Annus, and the participation as at 31st of December 2019 numbers 354 active members. As has already been mentioned, they are grouped in local chapters where sufficient number of people exist, and they are now present in the form of 27 local chapters present in 11 countries. There are countries where probably in 2020 we shall have some additional chapter. I like to mention, for instance, Canada being one of these very, very close to the setup of a new chapter, but there are also others, and there is a strong drive internationally in areas also outside Europe to become member of the foundation and to organize it, the activity in local chapters. During the board meeting of the 21st of November 2019, there was also a resolution, very important, passed in this regards, which have set the guidelines for the setup of new local groups. A local group to be set up must have a contact person appointed by the board of directors, an ecclesiastical counselor, have at least 5 members, and has got to produce a plan of future activity to the board for the board to approve. From the financial information point of view, I like to stress that 2019 was also a year very important because the new regulations which were passed inside the Vatican concerning in particular the controllership activity of the Financial Information Authority. You know that all the non-profit organizations are quite liable around the world of interferences of sometimes even criminal activity. And the Vatican has been extremely strict, in particular in setting the guidelines which would prevent any activity concerning money laundering or the financing of terrorist activity. So the Vatican has been asking all the foundations, including, of course, the Centesimus Annus, to comply with these new regulations. These new regulations being conform and having regard with law 211 of the 22nd of November 2017 regarding registration and supervision on non-profit entities like the foundation actually is. The reporting duties have been extended also to a single person named by the foundation, so that if there is any suspicious activity, this has got immediately to be reported. I'm saying this because sometimes the press provides a very deformed and very incomplete information about the Vatican financing. And I think that in the Vatican, the compliance with regulations which would make sure that the money is used properly and is not endowed by people who could be belonging to or connected to suspicious activity. This type of information is very important to provide to all the members. Now let's go to the financial statements. So the financial statements is published in the website of the foundation. and it shows the increase in the asset of the Centesimus, which as at the end of 2019 has been numbering 5,443,000 euros, an increase of 330,000 euros compared with the year before. There has been a new mandate provided to APSA for the management of the assets of the company, which stipulates that this asset will be managed discretionally by APSA within certain limits, which are 150,000 for each security operation carried, with a maximum limit in the semester for 250,000 euro. So in other words, it's not the board of directors who is managing the asset of the foundation. From 2019, the assets of the foundations intended in sale and buying of securities is assured by APSA with an agent contract, a mandato. Looking at the revenues, we have lower revenues in 2019 compared with the one of 2018. And this was primarily for two reasons. The first one was less income coming from financial activity. And the second reason being that 2018, as you remember, was the year in which the foundation celebrated the 25th anniversary. And we had an international convention with the participation of an extraordinarily large number of people. So these are the reasons why the actual revenues are slightly lower than in 2018. One important thing is that the membership fees, on the contrary, went up marginally, because it was 193,446 in 2018, has been in 2019 199,465, with an increase of 6,000 euro. Doesn't seem much, but considering the time, considering the hardship, because some element of economic crisis started already at the end of 2017. If you look at the figures, the economic figures, macroeconomic figures, you see that all over the world, the situation started to slow down starting the end of 2017. This increase in the membership testify of the good work which has been done, not simply at central level, but also at local level by the various chapters. And would like also to draw your attention to the fact that in 2019, the amount of the fees collected from membership participation in the foundation was almost twice, actually, very, very close to twice, the financial area net income. Membership were, as I mentioned, 199,465. The financial area net income of the year was 101,961. So double. That means that today, you know, 1/3 is coming from the financial area and 2/3 is coming from membership. Also, the costs were reduced quite considerably. The reduction was due to the fact, as I mentioned, that on consideration that the international conference wouldn't have the same number of applications and participation, we streamlined the flow of costs, and so it went down to 516,110, whereas previously, in the year before, in 2018, was 573. This doesn't take into account the impairment cost, which I will refer later on, which was due to what the chairwoman Anna Maria Tarantola has been referring to before concerning the accounting standards which were implemented by and enforced by the Service for Economy of the Vatican. The impairment, as it was mentioned, was due to the fact that before the foundation considered the limit for devaluation of an asset with a limit of 30%. If the asset was devaluating compared with the current market value of more than 30%, it was devaluated. Now the Service for Economy has been enforcing new rules to bring down, or better, to bring up the level below which we had to devaluate to 20%. And this has been causing an impairment for last year of 134,915, without which the foundation would have come out with a profit, with a net profit of 120,640. The difference is exactly the 14,275 euro loss that the chairwoman was referring to before. Now we have been informed that the Secretariat for the Economy is elaborating new accounting standards, which will be shortly notified to us. Aside from accounting standards, and still in the area of investment, asset investment, the foundation has been implementing, but this not simply in 2019, has also been reconfirmed in 2020 by a board resolution, a set of guidelines which refer to the ethical principle to be followed for the investment. Very briefly, I go through. The first one is we have to invest in assets which promotes the human dignity, manifesting responsible management practice, curb access to pornography, promote men's freedom from addiction, and defending religious freedom. The second area is the promotion of human life made possible by supporting policies and initiatives pursuing to protect human life and respecting the life, in particularly of the unborn, shying away from instruments which tend to contract procreation. And the third area is the promotion of family, which is another area, together with the protection of the creation, which is a guideline, ethical guideline that the foundation has to follow, or better, more than a foundation, in this case is APSA, because as I mentioned before, is not a foundation managing directly the asset, the securities, but is APSA doing it for us. Finally, I wouldn't like to go through the some information. You know that one of the principle, one of the mission indicated in the foundation statute is, together with the dissemination of the social teaching of the church, there is also the one to inform about the activities of the Curia, the Roman Curia, and what it is doing. Now, I don't want to go through, but you have read on the paper that recently the consolidated financial statements of the Roman Curia, as part of the larger total Vatican, has been published. Now you will see in the next few days these slides in the form of a PowerPoint being published in the website of the foundation. Only one small remark I like to do, again, you know, to correct wrong impressions and fake news which have been circulated on the paper. 2/3 of the money which the Vatican spends is money, which is in fact devoted to the apostolic nunciators, to the evangelization of people, to Oriental churches, to information and the dicastery of communication. Only 1/3 of a total of 207 million euros spent in 2019 has been going to the support of the Curia. 2/3 have been spent actually to promote the Catholic principle, the Catholic religion, the Catholic activities around the world in a universal sense. I think that I like to thank, sorry if I repeat the same word, to thank twice, to all of you for your attention. I know that, you know, when you talk about financial data, the subject is very boring, but I hope to have given you a panorama of what is going on. If there is any additional question, you are invited, of course, to write to the foundation. We shall be very, very glad to provide you all the details.